jogging, and that's what's been put out there. There's individuals like uh, uh, the Candace Owens, who's saying, she have a YouTube page. It just popped up on my feed, and I looked at it, and I'm listening to what she's saying. She's a commentary. She does commentary work. But what I'm saying is that she said some things that, to me, it wasn't correct. I don't think that it was. I don't think it was enough. I get where she was coming. I know what she was saying. I understand what she was saying to the degree about don't be fooled by what's going on, and they always do this during election time, where they'll throw out and it's kind of would show Donald Trump on his watch as the people that surrounds him, or those voters are their thinking is twisted in terms of the KKK. I get what she's saying, if that's what she's saying, but it's still, we still have to make sure that we're saying it right, even into the term of lynching. And if you look up the definition of lynching, in fact, let's run this video. We're going to run this video of Candace, and I want my producer to let me know when it's on running, so that I can push it here so we can do a reaction. I want to do a reaction so I'll know. And I want you guys, it's a short clip, but when we're going to run this clip and we're going to talk about it, and I want you to tell me what you think.
So, just an easy question to ask is if you are just a jogger and he is being described in the media as an avid jogger, this is something he does all the time. I do not know any avid joggers that jog in khaki shorts. Now, again, that's a question. That is not insinuating anything. It just is saying that if you looked at the video, you probably should have had more questions than answers. And yet, the media and everybody was issuing a verdict that this was some crazy situation where a couple of white people woke up and thought, you know what? Today I want to lynch a black person. And
Okay, so I want to stop there. Okay, so if you've seen it, again, I don't know if anybody's watching right now at this particular time, but let me know that you're out there. If you are watching, leave a comment, sign in, whatever. But I mean, going back what she said, okay, so let's look back at what she said, and you guys can go and check it out for the full video. But and it's just, sometimes we can say things that I don't know if we did enough research in, and this look back at it in terms of the khaki shorts and an avid jogger. You know, okay, so what does that mean? That this young man was wearing khaki pants or khaki shorts, in terms of him, that he wouldn't use that type of, I guess that she's alluding to, that you don't jog in khaki shorts. I mean, we don't know what's going on in his situation to know what it is he's wearing, or if he's wearing the quote unquote proper gear to jog in. I mean, who can say that? We don't know this guy's financial status. We don't know if he can afford. We don't know anything about him. We know he just jogged in khaki pants. I've jogged in boots. I was doing weight training, but I jogged in boots, holding weights in my hand. I mean, you don't know what the situation is to make that statement about khaki shorts, and to allude that maybe he wasn't really jogging. And I get it. I understand. But I'm talking about, I don't think that's enough information to say that, he couldn't have been jogging. I mean, obviously, there's more videos that have come out that talked about, and we're going to play that video, not right now. We're going to play that video. But what I'm saying is that in the situation at hand, when he was jogging up the street, when nobody knew whether he was sprinting, whatever it is you want to call it, at that particular time, we not knowing all of the evidence, we didn't. How can you say this man wasn't jogging, or he wasn't jogging because he had on khaki shorts in that particular time? Looking at that footage, we don't know. You can't conclude that this man wasn't jogging because he had khaki shorts on, and that's the thing that I'm saying about our people. It's ridiculous about what's happening, and to say that she alluded to about the lynching. Like, Did these people just wake up in the morning and say that we're going to lynch? Why? I mean, what would stop them from saying that? And I'm not saying that they thought that, but I am saying they was aware of what was going on, and they acted according to what they believed that would be necessary. So now, what I want to do is I want to read the word. I want to define the word lynch, because she said that, it wasn't a modern day lynch. Okay, says who? Now, before I say that, I'm gonna say this: you can't use the fact that they were doing a citizen arrest, because in my definition of what I'm thinking, the definition of a citizen's arrest is that for a fact that this person has committed a crime. You've seen them, and you guys have actually took a look to say, yeah, I see what's going on, and I'm gonna step in to take things in my hand according to the law, a citizen's arrest. And this guy was running or jogging. He wasn't at a scene of a crime. He was jogging. Maybe we don't know. I don't know the intent. I can only go by what I've seen on the video of this young man, but I also knew that he ran around the side of the car, and then next thing you know, everything happened. Now these guys had guns, so there was a purpose there. If I'm not just riding around with my rifle, and we're in the car. So what do you mean this wasn't a lynching? Now let's define it. From what I'm looking at, this is on Google. I just typed it in Google. What does a lynching mean? And it reads here. It says of a mob killed someone, especially by hanging, for an what? An alleged offense with or without a legal trial. And I'm saying it that slow on purpose so that we can really understand. But it says by hanging for an alleged offense with or without a legal trial. You telling me that wasn't a lynching, a modern day lynching? That's what happened. This man didn't have a trial. They took matters in their own hands, not as a citizen making a citizen's arrest because you seen what happened. You actually seen what happened, so you stepped in. Now, these guys had guns with them. So there was some fear there, I guess, or some intimidation, or maybe even possibly what? Gonna kill you. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's go deep into what she's saying. Now, what would you call it if you had, I think it was about 3 or 4 guys there. And these guys, I think even the guy on the back of the truck even had a rifle. The son had a rifle. Now, here it go. If you're making a citizen arrest and you have a gun in your hand and this guy is running, you don't see a gun, then you turn around and you guys get into the altercation, you're fighting, he get the best of you, you cowardly take your gun and pull the trigger because you know whooping that, you know what I'm saying? And you wasn't man enough to drop your gun and fight this man back. Instead, you pull the trigger. Isn't that what they've been doing for years? And I'm not saying this in a prejudiced state. I'm saying this in the area of what facts are, what the truth are. It's been going on since what's that? Uh, Emmett Till was it Emmett Tillman. You know what I mean? Where what happened? Where they said he whistled at the white lady, and next thing you know, they went after him. And I don't know, maybe some more things that were said, and a mob formed. To me, it's cowards. A mob formed, and what did they do? They take this young man, and they do some bad things. They kill this young man. His body bloated. And what am I saying? That's a lynching. That's another word of a lynching because what? They didn't have a trial. They just took this guy and they dealt with him. Listen, it wasn't a citizen's arrest because the guy didn't even break the crime. But do you know? I think I heard it from Dave Chappelle. It was on one of his YouTube, his Netflix shows where he said that later down the line, the lady came forth on her deathbed and said that it didn't really happen. You know what I mean? But it still was a lynching. That was considered a lynching because they took this guy without a trial and convicted him. They were the judge and the jury and took this man's life. I mean, this is because they didn't have an idea. I don't know if somebody called them to say he's running up the street or whatever, but the guy who pulled the trigger was not justified. Now, I don't know if it'd be manslaughter or I don't know if it'd be first degree murder. I'm not a lawyer to describe the charge, but in my mindset, I see the intent. What was the intent? The intent were you knew what you were doing when you had that gun in your hand. You knew what you were doing. And then you're fighting him with the gun and you pull the trigger. I see the intent, but again, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. I see the intent. Now, could it be manslaughter? It possibly could. But the fact remains is that this young lady, I'm not dogging her out, but this Candace lady, you're saying you're washing it down to make it seem like that it was justified from my perspective. It sounds like that you're justifying this man, these group of men killing this young man for whatever reason. And now, so let's go farther into it. And I'm going to play another video. Let me get back to this video because I have to get out of this screen here. Uh, and for some odd reason, I can't get out of this screen. I don't know why it's not allowing me to go back. Let's see. Can I go back? Okay, I'm back. I'm out of it. So I'm going to do this. I need to see the same thing that I'm showing you guys. So I'm going to play this video. Hold on, producer, before you play it. I want to make sure I have it set up right. Okay, so all right. So let me know when you're ready to play that, so I can play at the same time you're playing it. And guys, what am I doing? I'm showing you videos that's out here. We're gonna play another video, and this is the video of a YouTuber. I'm not gonna say the name of the YouTuber, Caucasian guy. He's another guy that's kind of watering it down. He's showing the fact that, and you won't see this part of the video. Maybe we can send a link and you guys can see it. But in his video, it's showing the 911 call that was made. No, I'm not. I don't think I'm showing that 911 call. Oh, maybe I am. Maybe I'm going to be showing it. But anyway, I'm prompting the video where the young man he did go to a under construction home. He was in there and on the property. I mean, you can hit him with trespassing. Okay, whatever. Trespassing. If that person have a sign up, maybe it's trespassing. Maybe they would have pursued him in that area. But what happened was they showed a camera shot of him entering in on the construction site. He's looking around, not really a lot from what the camera described. He kind of looked, he peek in, he looks, and then he turns away. And I guess a 911, somebody with made a call saying what's going on, and meaning to the 911 person. And then the young man sprints off. He start running. Maybe, I'm not saying that for facts. Maybe that's the time where the one clip is showing him running up or sprinting up the street. Maybe it was because he didn't, whatever, for whatever reason. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play it. So let's go ahead and play it. Then we're going to talk about it. So are you playing it? Push it, producer.
Communications operator Smith.
Hey, I live out still stores.
Okay.
Break-ins out here. There's a guy in the house right now. It's a house under construction.
Okay, do you have your address or the other house's address?
Right at 219 or 220 Satilla Drive.
And you said someone's breaking into it right now?
Now keep an eye on the house. Ahmad's about to pop out, sees this guy on the phone with 911, and now he becomes a jogger, or more like a sprinter.
No, it's all open. It's under construction, and he's running right now. There he goes right now.
Okay, what is he doing?
He's running down the street.
Okay.
Back into the
Okay, that's fine. I'll get them out there. I just need to know what he was doing wrong.
Okay, I'm just putting my thoughts together. I'm listening to another audio sound as well. Okay, so now what do we see? We seen from this tape, we seen that there was someone actually making the call, the 911 call, which is, that's understandable. He's seeing some strange activity going on. He see the man runs off, doesn't see anything in the guy's hand, right? Doesn't seem, maybe he didn't see anything that he wanted to grab. I don't know what the situation was. But what I'm saying is that does it justify what just happened in terms of this young man being gunned down? Does it justify that? Of course it doesn't justify. These guys were going to a lynching. Whatever you want to say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The proof is in what we see. I'm an editor. I know how to edit videos, make things look the way that they are. I understand about videography. My degree is in that area. You get what
Obviously, he knew he was up to no good. He knew he was going to be in trouble.
that car, you heard a gunshot the first time, if I'm correct. But then you heard a couple of more gunshots. So what am I saying? You mean to tell me because you see this young man running up the street from being nosy or whatever he was doing from a house that you would take your gun like you were already prepared? And why am I even saying this? Because of the Candace, the Owens, from what she was saying, watering it down to make it seem like it. Oh, guys, they always do this. You did see a person die, right? It doesn't matter if it was state. It doesn't matter if it was every election that they do this. Trayvon, the case seemed a little similar. It seems similar to the degree of the time. I think it was in February when that happened, almost around the same date. I think that I forget 26th, 23rd. Someone trying to step in to save the day, a superhero like Zimmerman did, trying to step in. Now these men are stepping in to try to diffuse whatever they felt that should be diffused by their own definition. You know what I mean? And Zimmerman got off. Hopefully these guys won't get off. I don't know what you see. I don't know what you guys see, but I see a lynching. I see someone is coming to be the judge and the jury right then and there because of someone said that a crime has happened without the police. And then let's go deeper in this. Why wouldn't the police officer see enough evidence to say, guys, I'm gonna have to bring you in? You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to bring this case. We know why. You know what I mean? But something should happen to the officer as well, because whether he should be fired or whether he should be retrained, because he made a move. A crime has been committed, a murder has been committed, and this cop walks away. And you mean to tell me this not a lynching? If you go back into you know those days of slavery, that's what the cops did. They let those men get off. In fact, it wasn't even a crime because they were property. You know what I mean? And see, sometimes we have to look back at what's going on and say, what the hell is going on? Why would our own people water this thing down and connect it to a political situation, a political reason? It's all about politics, guys. They're always doing it. And then she had the nerve to say, you guys take the bait. What the hell? What do you mean bait? You mean to tell me that this is a bait? This is you taking a worm, putting it on the hook and throwing it out there, and hopefully the black people would just bite onto it and say, we got you. What do you mean by that? That they took the bait? Someone died. Someone died. It's terrible. That's terrible. Hopefully we just need to think before we say anything. We need to think before we talk. It's not everything now is about views, about going viral. You don't really care about the situation. It's just about going viral. And it becomes a situation now where you say to yourself, what the hell is going on? Even with the Brianna Taylor out of Louisville, Kentucky. Look what happens. The police officers go allegedly, well, I don't know if it's allegedly, they go into the home and they shoot up this young woman thinking that they were in the right home for a drug raid, for a raid. And but listen, so let's say it this way. What if it was a raid? What if you went into the right home? Let's just put Miss Taylor to the side, respectfully so, and let's look at what just happened. You mean to tell me in a raid, the first thing that you're going to do when you kick down the door is start shooting? I mean, come on. You're going to start shooting your gun when you first walk in. I mean, if it's dangerous, obviously you don't have time to think. I get it. But if you have a bulletproof vest on, you're already preparing for a raid. So that's telling me that you're putting on the right armor or whatever it might be to run into this house. You've been doing this many a times. I'm quite sure, you've done more than one raid, especially a drug raid. You're going to kick down the door, run in there, draw your guns. I thought the first thing you're supposed to say is to announce who you are. Get down, get down, get down. You're aggressive in that. You're moving in, preparing to shoot. That's right. Because if someone's shooting you, you're going to shoot back. I get all of that. But was that the situation that happened here? Or were you just a coward? Were you cowards? I don't believe, and I'm not coming down on officers, but what I am saying is that you have to know if this is something that you really can do as a job, because sometimes fear sets in so much where we just we act on our impulses to react because of the fear. There's the adrenaline, everything is pushing. They can shoot us. I mean, maybe you shouldn't be an officer. Maybe you shouldn't be an officer if the first thing you do is kick down the door and shoot. Just like what happened to, who was it? Baltimore. I can't pronounce it. I want to, what happened to the young lady going into, that seems similar. You know what I mean? Running into these people's homes and pulling the trigger. Now, this lady dies. This young lady dies because of, I won't even use it. I won't even use the word that they went to the wrong home, because you still practice, to me, some questionable procedures in terms of running in, and still, as soon as you break the door down, you pull the trigger. Now this young lady dies, and this had happened. It's been happened, but I think they're now, I don't know if they're taking them to court or not now. But I mean, this lady didn't deserve that. No one did. I'm gonna be honest. If there was a drug raid, they didn't deserve that. If you just gonna bust open the door and start shooting immediately. Obviously, that's what had to happen for this young lady to die. And you to put, I believe it was 18 bullets. You shot 18 or 20. I mean, that's a lot of shooting for one person. At one person, your intent was wrong. When you was running into that drug raid, your intent was wrong. I mean, it's questionable because you was going to shoot and ask questions later. That's what happened. So now, I need someone to respond back to that. Let's see you go online and say and justify, well, they weren't number drug dealers. They weren't number drug dealers and they deserve that. I mean, come on, people. If it was turned around with this young man who got gunned down, who've gotten gunned down, if it was a white guy and it was black guys with rifles and they killed the white guy, the cop that came on the scene would have arrested them as soon as they seen him, they would have arrested him so quick, threw them in the back seat of the car and took off. People, you guys know that. Black people, you, you need to come out of the world that you're in if you still believe that everyone looks at, we're all equal. You're not equal in this American. In this Western society, you're not equal as the white man. It's just the truth. So you can't think because that you're being taken care of, you have a couple of white friends, that everything is now good. It's not good to some people. Now, okay, so let's go back to the case in Georgia. Let's go back to the home that was so to speak, violated, meaning, or there was trespassing. I think that the lawyer of that family came on to one of the news mediums and said that the family didn't know that this was going to happen and didn't agree to what happened. They said that they didn't want this young man to die because they came on their property. He came onto their property and looked in. I mean, they would have dealt with it however they would have dealt with it, but it wouldn't have reacted in a murder because you was a coward and pulled the trigger because you was getting that whoop. You put in the line. You was getting that whoop. And you couldn't take it as a man that this man got the ups on you and start swinging on you, throwing those blows, putting them hands on you, them 2 pieces, that 3-piece dinner, that 5-piece dinner. He started throwing them hands on you. You couldn't take it, so you pulled the trigger. That's a coward. That's a coward. Fear, you was driven by fear. So why did you even come there unless, I mean, so to me, it's telling me that you came there to kill this young man because you used the trigger. You couldn't fight with your hands. Who remember that back in the day? You know, when you was growing up, you know, you fighting. You know, we all got in some type of situations, especially if you grew up in the hood. You know, you learn to put hands on people or people put hands on you. But I mean, you fought it out. You did. I mean, I understand that this was a so-called, I don't know what you want to call it, burglary. I mean, it was trespassing, if at the least. You know, I know you guys said that, you know, it's been incidents, but you can't prove that it was him. You couldn't prove that it was this guy. So I don't know. And you know, and like I said, the Louisville, Kentucky, with Brianna Taylor. I'm hoping that, you know, this case get really looked at. I'm hoping that the lawsuit, if there is a lawsuit, that it takes place and they drain Louisville Police Department dry, drain them dry, because of another move to me, from my perspective, of a cowardly move. That the first thing you do when you kick down the door, obviously, is pull the trigger. Now, I say that I'm a police officer, get on the ground. And this young lady would have said, "Oh my God, what's going on? Get on the ground. You know how y'all do it aggressively. Get out, get out, get out." I mean, she would have got down on that ground. I believe she was got down on the floor, and this could have been taken care of. It would have been a mistake. You guys could have left. I don't know if they would have pursued you guys, the Louisville Police Department in that area, but I'm saying that you pulled the trigger. I mean, you pulled the trigger. You shot before you asked some questions. You know, hopefully you said that you were police officers when you broke down the door. And I don't know about that neither. So, you know, guys, all I'm saying is, what the hell is going on? What's going on? Black people are dying again. It's like it's starting back over. But why is it now? Now I get it. I understand black on black crime, but does that justify you saying that, well, they do it to themselves, so we're going to help them? That doesn't justify that. It doesn't justify, you can't even use that. You can't even use that to say that they kill one another. I mean, you guys don't say anything about that. Let us deal with that. That doesn't mean you should go ahead and do it. Now, and then let me say this. Why is it when this situation, when these things happen, right? When these situations happen, and I'm going to be honest, in this, why is it always a white cop? Why is it always a white cop? Why isn't it a black cop that show up? You know, why is it always a white cop? You know, even in the raid, I don't know the officers that was in the raid in Louisville with the Miss Taylor case and gunning her down. And I don't know who was there. I don't know, you know, the setup. But I'm asking, in terms of, and it's always been something that I've always dealt with. Why, when there's ever a black man being or a black woman being gunned down, is always by a white cop? Why is it never by a black cop? Why, or a Latino cop? Why is it always by a white cop? That has plagued my mind so much. I've never gotten that under. It's always that, you know. It's always that. It's always a white cop, you know. And so that tells me something. Either you're a coward, you're not trained, or you shouldn't be in that community policing. You know, now when it comes to the Georgia situation, I believe that was a community that was more. I think it was the population was a little bit more of a white, Caucasian community than it is an African or black community. What I mean, suburban, whatever it might be. So obviously, you have white cops patrolling the area. So I get that. I do get that. But I'm still saying that doesn't explain why is it always a white cop pulling the trigger or white people when it comes down to gunning down a black man. It's always a white guy. Listen, and then I remember seeing a YouTube page where the guy, I don't know, how true it was, but a Facebook page where the guy, they had a meme where the guy had his rifle. He had his rifle in the air saying, black people don't want to start a race riot. You're right. We don't. We don't want to start a race riot. In fact, all we want to do is live our life in freedom. We want to have the same amount of rights. I know it's on the books, but we want to have the same amount of rights or equal rights that you guys have, white people have. We're not trying to start a race war with all the white people in the world. So when that meme was up and you cocked the gun, black people don't want to start no, we don't want to start a race. We're not. That's not okay. All right. So this is my opinion. Okay. So in every race, you have people who, they're crazy. Let's just say it like they're crazy individuals, right? We have that. But at the same time, you have a lot of black folks or black people who they just want to do better. Now, in saying that, and I'm not justifying this, you have people, if you talk to guys that have robbed a bank or have, just did some stuff to get money, whether it's drug sales, whether it's burglary, I can't even say the word, breaking and entry, whether it's any of those different things. The reason behind that is because of money. Now, whatever that means, maybe they, obviously they can go get a job. I get that. But what I'm trying to share with you, their so-called reason is to take care of their family or to make money because of them not having a job. And then you have your crazy ones who just go out, just like in every race of people who does crazy stuff, but what am I saying? When you have a people that sitting back that's saying to you that they're preparing for a race war, a race riot, or race, whatever you want to call it, it's set in place to say specifically we're going after a group of people because of who they are. You get what I mean? Not because of, no other reason, because of who they are, their race, their color, and we just don't like them. You know, that's crazy insane to even say that I'm going to, a race war. That's crazy. That is so crazy. So what am I saying from the meme of the guy cocking the rifle and saying black people don't want a race riot? We don't. We don't. We're not in it for that. Now, I don't believe that we're cowards either. You know what I mean? We're not cowards. We're not to protect ourselves, but it's not about that. What I'm saying is that, we're not sitting around trying to start problems just because we can. We're not sitting around doing that, starting problems just because we can. And when we have people to come on doing some whatever they want to call their news, you know what I mean? Talking about, guys, you just took the bait. Guys, black people, you took the bait. You're crazy for saying it. You're saying that this is about bait. If someone dies, I'm gonna call it a lynching, defining it by the definition that says that a mob of people
person. And
become the judge and the jury without a proper trial, and you take this person's life. That is a lynching. If you
so just an
define
easy
it like
question to ask.
that is a lynching. Guys, listen, we have to get it together. Black people, you have to get it together. And I'm going to say this, and I think I can say this. We have to stick together, black people. You shouldn't be now. Listen, I can see if he was running down the street, he had a gun, he was pointing the gun, going crazy. Yeah, then, some things could happen in that situation. I don't know if it's just we're taking a life. You know what I mean? But I can see it's different. But even if he ran from the home and ran up the street, doesn't give anyone the right to pull the trigger or to be his judge and jury. Or to figure that you're doing a citizen's arrest. Now, allegedly, I heard that the guy that was videoing it, it got out to other phones. It was sent. It was shared to other phones, and I believe, allegedly, I'm not sure on this, that I believe that I don't know if it was a father said that his son was the one that shot the guy because they thought they did it under a citizen's arrest. I don't know how you would think that would be a citizen's, and it didn't cause harm to someone. You know what I mean? That you will have your gun to pull the trigger and kill this person. You shouldn't even been there. If you had to bring your gun and pull the trigger, maybe you shouldn't have been there. Maybe you wasn't man enough to be there to just say, "Hey, listen, guy, we noticed you within that on that property. Please, if you don't mind, could you not do that because we've been having some break-ins, over time, and we don't know what's going on, but we are paying attention to our community." Why you couldn't just say something like that? Right away it happened so quick. Yeah, okay, I get it. I hope they get threw up under the jail. I hope they throw him up under the jail, and rightfully so. I hope they throw him up under the jail. And this could be anybody. I'm not looking at this as a racist situation, but I don't know what their motives were. Obviously, I believe it was a racist situation, but I'm not looking at it. I'm looking at how stupid it was, and how obviously it was that this was a lynching, defined by the definition from what I typed in Google. You type it in, you define it, you look at it and see what you think. Guys, but that's enough for that. I don't want to go deep into it, but what's going on, guys? What's going on? Black people, you better start waking up. You better wake up. You better wake up. Just because you're in a different, and here's the other thing. Sometimes we lose sight of things when we're in a different class, income status. We think because we made it that everything is all right now. No, no, it's not. It's not. It's not right. It's not. It's just not going to. Oh, okay, I made it. I know a couple of white people. They take care of me. Or they treat me good. I have a couple of white friends. That doesn't mean that it's still not going on. Meaning that you're being judged by the color of your skin. If you do, you need a wake up call. And listen, I'm not saying that the Candace lady, I'm not saying that, you know, she's beating up on black people. I'm saying that you're not you're not helping it. You're not helping it. You're not helping, especially saying that he's wearing khakis and the news media said that he was just jogging. And now I don't know avid joggers that wear khaki pants. Say as you. Now, in this situation, so we can get it right, it does show from other video clips that's on YouTube that he was running or sprinting from the house. Allegedly. That's what it shows. Allegedly. But that's not enough to take a life in your own hands. I didn't see a crime committed. If I did, the only thing I can see is trespassing. Trespassing. You know what I mean? Trespassing. I can see that. But that doesn't give you the right to pull the trigger and have a lynching on your own and take this man's life. You need to be locked up under jail. I hope that the parents or the family wins in court. They're going to get their day in court, but I hope it's not another Trayvon Martin situation. In this situation, is just you get what I'm saying, guys. I hope it's not a Trayvon Martin situation. God rest his soul. Again, with this young man being gunned down like he was, I mean, nasty. I mean, that was nasty. That was nasty, guys. But what do you think about that? Comment on what you think. What do you think, about the Candace situation, of what she said, in terms of watering it down? Because I clearly seen her water this thing down. She has some valid points. I'm not saying that she didn't have any valid points, but I am saying that I think that you shouldn't have watered it down as though it wasn't a big deal, or they were justified by taking this man's life, and you use it to say that black people caught the bait. Shame on you. I don't think that was necessary. I'm not beating you up, but I am saying what's coming out of your mouth. This is what come out of your mouth. You said it. I didn't say it, but I'm responding to it to say that I think that you shouldn't have watered it down like it wasn't a big deal, like it was a plot from a party, and we should be aware of this, because I'm a Donald Trump supporter. I mean, if you, I don't know if you are or not, but I'm just saying, it shouldn't have been watered down. Shame on, and that goes for anybody, white or black. Don't water this down, because this could have happened to you. This could have happened to you. People need to pay when they make stupid decisions. And that's what that was, a stupid, cocky decision. And, a stupid, cocky decision. Now somebody's life has been taken. Now I hope that it should be, given back to them, whether, prison time or whatever it may be. I think it should be first degree myself, first degree murder. And those accomplishes, those people that was involved should be arrested, and well, they was already arrested and charged. Maybe not first degree, but manslaughter or whatever. But whoever pulled the trigger should be charged with first degree murder. I know they might get them manslaughter. Who knows? But guys, it was terrible what happened, guys. And I'm out of here. I just wanted to talk about that. But listen, check us out on Facebook, on YouTube, guys, at the Roundtable Podcast Official, the Roundtable Podcast Official. That's the YouTube page. You can even go to our IG that way, at the Roundtable Podcast Official on IG, as well as obviously Facebook. And guys, we want to see you on 4:30 on Sundays. We have some great topics. And maybe you'll see me even through the week, just bringing up, talking about different things. But guys, that's how I feel. If you come at me, come on. But I'm just saying that, that was a lynching defined by what I've read. That's a lynching defined. You're being the judge, the executor, whoever. You're taking matters in your own hands. That was not, from what I'm understanding, a citizen's arrest. You wasn't there at the time that whatever you want to consider the crime that was committed. You didn't physically see that crime committed to know the facts were there. And I don't know if the level of violence that happened met what just happened, and this man just walking on someone else's property and looking in, but then he sprint away unless and you could have just easily just talked to this guy. Could have just at least talked to him. Now maybe he wouldn't come back because he see that I'm aware. You know what I mean? That you guys see what's going on. If that's the case, meaning that he was the one who actually was doing B&Es, breaking it into entry into other people's property. So, guys, check us out on Facebook, YouTube, IG. I gave you the link. I mean, or the title, what you need to type in to check us out. So, guys, like and share, subscribe on YouTube. We have a lot of different topics to talk about. My condolences to all the families, that's experiencing this trauma. And, and I'm gonna say this before I go. I can't think of the lady on YouTube, or she talked about trauma, that the black people didn't have counseling, or they didn't get, they didn't get the counseling that they needed, because you got a lot of African American people who subconsciously, and I'm not a psychiatrist or anything in that area to say that, but there is trauma, and in any situation where trauma is there, meaning slavery, and not just slavery, but even after slavery, that the things that we went through, our people went through, and the beatings, and the murders that happened. That's traumatizing to know that, or even to experience that. But even today, being traumatized without counseling, without these Black people getting counseling, every last one of us, where we can talk about what happened, or you know what I mean. So a lot of people are traumatized, and for people to come on and water this thing down like nothing's happened, that's a shame. I just think that's a shame. Black people, we need to stick together. I mean, I can understand if wrong was committed. I don't think anything justifies murder unless somebody's shooting back at you or coming to take your life. Then now you can stand your ground. I get that part. But if I'm not bringing violence to you, why do you bring violence to me? Unless you're a coward. I'm going to just say it, that unless you're a coward. That Zimmerman thing, that was a cowardly thing. That was a cowardly thing. Now this situation, now the Louisville, coward, 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 fear. Guys, I'm signing off. Talk to you later. Hope you leave comments. What do you think about that situation that happened? And maybe I'll respond back. But I love the comments. I offer bad and good. Don't matter. It doesn't matter to me. So talk to you soon. I sign off.